Hi everybody. During the holiday season, one of our favorite meals is a brown sugar glazed ham. It's one of the simplest things to make, and the only ingredients that are required for this recipe is brown sugar. We're going to use a rub made by McCormick's called Sweet and Smoky, some pancake syrup, and some spray-on vegetable oil. The first thing that you want to do is to make some score lines in a diamond-shaped pattern. I like to keep these score lines about an inch apart, and I usually make them about a quarter-inch deep. I start at one corner of the ham and slicing at an angle, go to the opposite corner, rotate the ham, and come back and do the same thing. So you do have a nice diamond pattern. It won't really show much now, but when you are done with the ham, the score lines will separate, and it makes a very nice looking presentation. We're going to take that spray-on vegetable oil, spray the entire outer surface of the ham, and this is really just to give the rub and the brown sugar something to adhere to when we do our rub and put that on. So make sure that you spread that evenly and the entire surface is coated well. Now we're going to take some of that McCormick Sweet and Smoky rub, and of course we apply it liberally. When they pre-cook these hams and smoke them, the outer surface of the ham becomes pretty hard. So even though we've put those score lines in, we want to make sure we put plenty of rub so that some of that seasoning does its thing and gets into the outer surface of the meat a little bit and kind of gets an opportunity to soak in. So we're going to apply that rub. Try not to be as messy as I did. That spray on vegetable oil made my hands pretty slippery, and as you can see, I spilled that rub a little bit. But we don't want it to go to waste, so I'm going to use some of that. And after we apply the rub to the entire outer surface of the ham, we're going to take some of that brown sugar. After I get some of this rub off my hands, we're going to take some of that brown sugar and basically do the same thing. Apply a second coat to the outer surface of the ham, and once we get that brown sugar applied, we're going to wrap this ham in foil, and we're gonna let it set for about 5 to 10 minutes. What that does is it lets the moisture in the ham kind of absorb into the rub and into that brown sugar, and it creates a nice wet glaze around the entire surface of it, so that when we do put it in the smoker, it creates a nice flavorful crust on the outside of that ham. And there you see what the ham looks like. It's now ready to go into the smoker, and we're gonna have a target temp for the smoker of 235 degrees, and we want to get the internal temperature of the ham up to 145 degrees before serving. When it gets to about 130, that's when we are going to apply our glaze to the ham. Between now and then, it's just sit back and relax and wait for that temp to get where we need it. Well, we're about an hour into the cook, and I just added a few more apple chips to the smoke box, and I want to take a peek and see how this ham's looking. And it's browning up really nice. The crust is starting to form, and everything is looking good. Okay, it's time to make the glaze that we're going to be applying to the ham. I've got some water nice and hot in the microwave, and I'm adding some pancake syrup to it. It's about 2 parts water to 1 part pancake syrup. And then we're going to add about 2 to 2.5 heaping tablespoons of the brown sugar. Doesn't have to be exact, but somewhere in that vicinity would be great. And just make sure you stir it thoroughly. You do want to get that brown sugar completely dissolved. And once it's dissolved, you are ready to get your basting brush and put a nice generous coat onto that ham. Man, my neighbors must think I'm nuts. It's about 8 degrees out here, and the snowflakes are flying. Even though the sun's out, it is freezing cold. The dogs don't seem to mind though. But we're going to get this glaze onto this ham, and once we do, we've probably got about another 20-30 minutes of cooking time. They'll bring the total cook time up to about 3.5 hours, and it should be ready to slice and serve. So we want to make sure we get that glaze coated on as much of the surface area as possible. Certainly into the score marks that are now starting to separate. You want to get the sides and the ends of the hams coated as well. Get as much of that glaze down into those score marks as possible, and it's going to turn out just great. Okay, this ham is ready for slicing. We're going to slice it up and have a great meal, and we hope you check our future videos and stop and check out www.smokeandgrill.com, and we will see you soon.